All right, good morning, listener. Today is Monday, the 22nd day in the month of August 2022, and it is about time we bring to you Stewardship, that program that brings to you chief executive officers of government establishments and private organizations where they render account of their stewardship. And today we are privileged to have in our studio the program manager, Nasarawa Agricultural Development Program, NADP, Mr. Emmanuel Alanana, who is here live in the studio. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, alongside Mr. Alanana is the Executive Secretary, YMCA Lafia, who is the State Coordinator of African Activists for Climate Justice, Mr. Ango Adamu. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Alongside that also we have his co-coordinator in person of Mr. Joshua Jonathan. He is also the national president of Small Scale Farmers Association Nigeria, ASAPIN. You're welcome to the program.
My pleasure.
My name is Gospel Ede, your regular host on the program, and together we'll be taking a ride into the agricultural sector. And you know, food is very, very essential to human existence, and so we want to discuss some of the issues impeding or hindering agricultural production in the society. And in this particular case, we are looking at the effect of climate change on small-scale farmers in Nasarawa State. And that is why we have the trial of the agricultural sector give us updates on what is happening. Before I get into engaging the program manager proper, I'd like to hear from our coordinators, the duo of Mr. Ango Adamu and Mr. Joshua Jonathan, who are coordinating this project in Nasarawa State. It's a World Bank project that deals with how to mitigate the effect of climate change on agriculture, environment, and human life in general. And so, Mr. Ango Adamu, can you give us a brief overview of this project?
Okay, thank you. Let me.
All right.
That is supported by the Ministry of External Affairs.
All right.
The Netherlands.
All right.
So the project is African Activists for Climate Justice in Africa, and it's a combination of 5 powerful consortium partners who believe that Africans need to have a decent and dignified life and to enjoy a very healthy environment. So is to mobilize and unify their voices so that they can clamor for government support in such a way that they can enjoy these basic rights. These rights are often denied by the effect of climate change, which is a global phenomenon. And so we are coming together to amplify the voices of these people so that how can we engage government so that they can promote that will bring about a change so that people can live a decent life.
Right.
Because migration, flooding, drought is taking food away from small-scale farmers who are the major producers of the food, and that is their means of livelihood, including pastoralists. So this is where we are.
All right. All right, Mr. Joshua, can you add to that quickly?
Well, it's not just the issue of the impact of climate change. It's not just taking away food from smallholder farmers. Every human being eats food, and it's impacting on all of us.
Exactly.
This project is just there to address, let those who are producing this food and people who also eat it, let them have environment that will be pleasing so that everyone can operate even within the impact that men are getting.
Right.
What do you get as a result? What can you do? What is available for you that you can do as a solution to reduce this impact in human life?
Right.
I think that is why we are talking to make sure those who are in the position to assist, remedy this situation, mitigating it, bringing solution to problem that we are facing. They should be able to do something so that people can be relieved and food will be available for people to eat in the world.
Sorry. All right, thank you so much. It is on this base that we'll go to our principal guest for today, talking about Mr. Emmanuel Alanana, who is a specialist. He is the program manager of NADP, and talking about climate change, effect of climate change on agricultural production. We would like to hear from you. How is NADP responding to issues of climate change among rural farmers in Nasarawa State?
Well, thank you very much. Just as the last two speakers said, the issue of climate change is no longer a news. Everybody knows, everybody have heard, and what is the issue at stake now is how do we cope the effect. And when you talk about agriculture, simply because, just like Joshua said, whether you're a farmer or you are not a farmer, you need food on your table.
Exactly.
And because you need food on your table, you must be concerned with what happened with those that are the producers of this food. And this program is not far-fetched because we don't have any other heritage in this state outside agriculture. That is what we have. To affect agriculture, we must, and I repeat, we must run helter-skelter to see how we provide avenues, ways, strategies to stop those things that will stop these smallholder farmers from producing what me and you and others who are not opportune to be in the farm to go to the market and get it easily and then eat. So if we go to the market and we don't see what we want to buy or what we want to bring home to eat, then there is a problem.
Very, very serious one.
Now, coming to ADP as an agency, you agree with me that we are saddled with the responsibility of extension delivery.
Exactly.
That is the main objective, that is the main work, that is the main activities of the ADP. Be it new technology, be it issues that will affect productivity as far as agriculture is concerned. We are supposed to be in between the gap of whether the policy makers or the farmers. Because whatever policies that are brought, we are responsible of breaking them down to the understanding of these farmers, so that we will now deliver them to the smallholder farmers. So yes, if you talked about the issue of climate change, ours is we've had, we've seen, we've known the effects. Now is the strategy. So we are left with no option than to create awareness to these farmers, letting them know has come. You have to be cautious.
Very well.
Now, cautious in the sense that maybe the climate change is affecting number of days expected rainfall, for instance. Maybe we are used to expecting maybe 2,000 to 3,000 millimeters of rainfall. With the effect of this climate change, there is that possibility that others or some areas that are used to enjoying this number of might not enjoy it.
Exactly.
Others that are not enjoying might be privileged to enjoy it, while others might also be unfortunately affected in terms of having more than that.
Exactly.
And when you have more than what you are expecting, the issue of flood sets in. So if flood comes in, a lot of things happen. Everything goes away. For those who are willing to leverage and agree with some of these advices and some of this awareness that either we or the producers of this program are doing, just as we are doing now. Some will be willing, some will not be willing. But climate change, the effect of this climate change is real. And because it's real, we have to put in measures, precautionary measures.
Yeah. All right. Like this year in particular, a lot of farmers, especially in around away axis, experience a lot of losses to crops, rice farm, maize farm, and the rest of them. A lot has happened. What do you think they need to do to avoid these losses caused by climate change?
Yes, just as we said, the predictions for this year by NIMET, we made it clear, we made it known to our farmers. We came on air as well on air now to say local government in the state we experience dry spell. Number of local government in the state we experience heavy downpour. So we should now be cautious. But it is ours, just like the saying said, you can lead the horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink water.
Exactly.
You get it? Ours is to create this awareness. And in fairness to our farmers, some are prompt to it. If they hear, they take quick action. Some will say, to hell with them. Are they God? Yes, we are not God. But we are doing all these things not to feel or create impression as if we are God, but to tell people that be careful. This is what is about happening. Like in a way that you mentioned, some people planted rice up to 3 times. Nothing happened.
Wow.
If not for the rains that have come now, that have been established, that some are going back to plant rice now. Some have been frustrated. They have left, all because they refuse to heed to some of these advices. So, for our farmers, we always plead with them, even though we have laggards. They are very slow adapters. They don't even want to listen to you. They wait to see until it happens to someone. If it is positive, they say okay. If it is negative, they will tell her, we said it that it will happen. So it didn't happen. But all what NIMET and other donor agencies are trying to do is to bring to our notice that we should be careful. For this reason, and for this period, our productivity will be affected if we do not take precautions.
Okay, Mr. Ango, you have anything to say concerning what's happening in Away and other parts of the state?
Yeah, just like the program manager said, you know the position of Nasarawa State in Nigeria. We are in the Guinea Savannah and a very strategic location where food is produced.
Exactly.
If anything happens in terms of food production in Nasarawa State, it affects a lot of other states in Nigeria.
Exactly.
And that is why the African Activists for Climate Justice project is being implemented in Nasarawa State, because the people who are feeling the impact most, whose livelihood depends on agriculture, are small-scale farmers who are living in the grassroots, are women, are youth who are wondering, you know, agriculture is climate dependent.
Exactly.
So a lot of crop will grow here depends on rainfall. If there's no rain, everybody hangs up. So, like you said, these predictions were made earlier in February, but we have a perception gap between the farmers and the scientists, the meteorological unit. Some farmers don't even believe that there is anything like climate change. They take it as witchcraft, they take it as, you know, because of our sins, a lot of things. But these are reality, because climate change is a scientific study. So we come in to bridge the gap by way of sensitizing the farmers, bringing information, trying to put information board at the respective communities so that small-scale farmers, women and youth can still go about their normal businesses and live a decent life. Pastoralists are not excluded because the effect of climate change is affecting everybody. Exactly. It brings a lot of diseases. It introduces new kind of suffering that we have already. So if we don't do anything quick about it, more hazards will come, and that is why this project is implemented in Nasarawa State because of who we are in the state.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jonathan, you are the national president of Small Scale Farmers Association of Small Scale Farmers in the country, and let us hear your experience with the happening that just took place, the drought, dry spell, and the rest of them. Whether you escape it, or if you do, what was the strategy you adopted? If not, then what should we do?
Well, let me say one of the things that farmers are being faced are the issue of having input timely.
Okay.
Let me first and foremost say the issue of mechanization.
Okay.
Many farmers that we interacted with them said they cannot wait. They have to use mechanized equipment when they have opportunity to use it. So if they cannot look at the prediction period and say we must work based on this, then it means that there is a gap. I would like to say that there should be a kind of policy where we have equipment on ground.
Okay.
The government should support this smallholder farmer with farm implements.
Right.
Where if they have a ready prediction, they should be able to say, okay, this is what time the NAME have predicted, but let me use my equipment to farm my farm within this period. The farmer doesn't have that privilege around him because he has to wait to get the equipment somewhere else.
All right.
Secondly, like other two speakers have mentioned, farmers sometimes they are adamant. They said, look, this is a God-sent thing, it can happen anytime, let's just look at it the way it is. But like Kango say, it's a scientific thing. You have to learn from it and then take experience from these messages that you are getting. Information is power. And if you fail to utilize the information you are getting, you may be at a high risk to destruction.
Exactly.
Then I want to say the policy of government should be a kind of a framework where it should be complemented by implementation.
All right.
Those who know how to save waste, they say good waste does not produce food.
Okay.
As good as our policy will look like, if we are not following it with action, we will not be able to meet up the requirement.
Okay.
And like we share somewhere in one of the forums, a lot of issues are happening because there is no close gap between the extension agent and the farmer. Who in the past, you see them around you, and then you should be asking questions here and there. But what is actually happening now is that one extension worker servicing 15,000 farmers. How possible will it be effective? You can't.
That's too enormous.
Against one extension worker to 800 or at most 1,000. Now you are servicing one person is working with 15,000, 20,000. How can you be effective? So that is a gap. And we are calling the government to look into this to allow the ADP engage more extension workers. We have graduates that are graduating every day, every year, and they are there and we cannot utilize them. We plead that for us as smallholder farmers in Nigeria, the area we are crying more now is the extension area. Extension service delivery is very weak.
All right.
Apart from the weakness, there is no strength because fewer people are doing the work of many people.
All right.
So there must be a policy framework accompanied by the implementation strategy, which the government needs to support it by investing more in agriculture. You cannot just talk about food and you cannot invest more in it. The Maputo Declaration said at least 10% of the national budget should be given to agriculture and climate change and related issues. So if we can do this, if the government can at least do this, but for the past 5 years, the national government have not gone beyond 2%. And at the state, I think at the state, we are even privileged to have about 5% in some years, 4% some years. So if we are taking the issue serious, like I say, these good ways we are talking about agriculture, if we translate it to what? To implementation, it will help us. And that's why the smallholder farmers are suffering.
Thank you so much. So let's get back to the program manager. He touched much about your area, and I would like you to respond or react to that. Talking about the extension workers, what is happening in that sector? Why are we where we are? Why are everybody making reference to inadequate extension workers? What is the issue?
No, the issue, thank you. The issue is a lot of people are retiring.
Okay.
A lot of people are dying because we cannot stop that. So the gaps are being created.
Okay.
How do we fill them? It's by employing more people. And for now, yes, just as you said, we have a gap of extension agent, farmer extension agent ratio. The normal 800 at most 1,000 is being overstressed to about 15. But on our side, we are trying our best. Even tomorrow, as I speak to you, God's willing, by tomorrow, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, is going to play host to the Honorable Minister of Agriculture here in Latvia with other stakeholders in the agricultural sector, where we are going to discuss on the need to strengthen the ADPs for an effective extension delivery system.
Okay.
So those are part of the effort we are making. Bringing some of these professionals close to the doorstep of the policy makers, the decision makers, so that they will also hear from others, maybe their own point of view will still buttress and increase the weight of what we are clamoring for. He also talked about the aspect of mechanization. Yes, whether we like it or not, things are changing, lives are changing, and the best way to go about it is mechanization.
Exactly.
Because what you produce or crop manually for a week, if it is mechanized within some hours, you can achieve that. So we still insist and plead, especially on the issue of extension agent. We are still calling on the state government to look at it on a very passionate ground that this state, we don't have any other thing except agriculture. And our farmers at the grassroots need to be supported with extension activities. And the only way to reach them is by employing more extension agents. And if, as I said, the position of Nasarawa State now, under an ideal situation, we would need no less than 1,700 thereabout extension agents.
How many do we have now?
We have about a frontline extension agent that are no more than 81 presently. The total workforce of the ADP now is around 200 and maybe 60-something.
Wow.
A lot will be going by this December, others will be going early next year. So the more they are going, the more
vacuum you create.
Vacuum, and the more challenge we have.
Wow.
So we are appealing that we'll be given the opportunity to employ more extension agents so that the older ones will kind of teach them.
Yes.
So that they will grow with it as we are getting to the doorsteps of retirement.
All right. Thank you so much. Listener, in case you're just joining us, the program is Stewardship on 97.1 FM. And I've been having conversation with the program manager, Nasarawa Agricultural Development Program, NADP, Mr. Emmanuel Alanana, alongside the state coordinators of African Activists for Climate Justice, talking about Mr. Ango Adamu and his counterpart, Mr. Jonathan Joshua. We're talking about effect of climate change on small-scale farmers in Nasarawa State. We'll be taking a short break, after which, when we come back, we'll continue with our conversation and probably open the phone lines for our local farmers and other interested partners to make their contributions and input on the program. We'll be right back.
It's fresh, it's incisive, analytical, and informative. Join us on Stewardship, an NBS Radio Current Affairs Public Accountability Program for Chief Executives of public and private establishments as we discuss and analyze achievements, challenges, and prospects of organizations. Stewardship is anchored live by your regular host, God's Power Ede, on Mondays, 10 to 11 in the morning. You can be part of the program through phone calls for your questions and contributions. Stewardship on Solid 97.1 FM, Latvia.
All right, you're welcome back. We're still here in the studio live with the trio of agricultural experts, I must say, who are here offering some solutions to the issues of climate change on agriculture in Nasarawa State. Before we open the phone lines, I'd like to also ask Mr. Alanana, Emmanuel Alanana, to tell us whether there are some what we call early maturing or drought resistant and tolerant varieties to help farmers reduce some of these effects.
Yes, we do. Just as I said, because of the effect of climate change, the seed that our farmers are used to,
yes,
if they continue using it, the climate will affect those seeds.
All right.
So we've gone a long way to introduce a lot of drought-resistant varieties, early maturing varieties, and all this. As I speak to you, they have released about 160 different varieties.
Okay.
All this to cope. But what we are trying to do now is to make sure that based on our structure, the state is divided into three.
All right.
Western Senatorial Zone, Northern Senatorial Zone, and then Southern Senatorial Zone. We are trying to make sure which of these varieties fits each of these zones, so that we don't still go back. Instead of finding solution to the problem, we create another
problem. Yeah.
So we are trying to see how we sort this one and see which one is zone specific, so that we make them available to our farmers. Okay,
quickly, the number to reach us is 08104849017. With a dial, you will be part of this conversation. Number again, 08104849017. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes. It's Shamaki of Agwatashi, calling from Agwatashi.
Okay, Shamaki of Agwatashi. Welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you.
Go ahead and ask your question.
I want to first of all say good morning to your guest.
Thank you.
All right.
Now, the person is so educative that I wish it doesn't remain to the English-speaking group of farmers. Hello.
Okay.
I want to suggest that this educative program should have this Hausa translation, or what else you understand?
Hausa version.
Yes, Hausa version.
All right.
We have a lot of serious farmers over there.
All right.
Who don't understand English.
All right.
If they will be carried along, I know. They will be carried along if their Hausa version is introduced.
It's okay.
And I don't know how many times, because I'm hearing this program for the first time. I will also wish it continues.
Okay.
Let it be given a fixed time and date so that farmers will be carried along. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shamaki of Agwatashi. I think this is not the first time we're having this program, but maybe you are just hearing for the first time. And we'll also make effort. We are making effort to also introduce the Hausa version of it, I can assure you. Thank you so much. Okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Matthew Gabari.
Where do I go so wide?
All right, thank you.
I welcome the program manager, chairman, and all the cases.
All right, thank you.
The program you are talking about, climate change. The climate change effect is there.
Yes.
And I thank God you invite these personalities. They are giving people more about the climate change. And as you are discussing, it is good for the government to employ more extension workers.
Exactly.
Because the rural farmers are, most of them, they are ignorant about the climate change and its effect.
Yes. So,
and as the chairman is saying, other people will say Allah will do this thing, Allah will do this thing. But Allah has already bring the scriptures. You see, in the Quran there is everything about drugs, about this climate change and everything. If you read them, you know them. So if any knowledge is knowledge. If people that they know something, they are telling you something, it is for you to protect yourself and your life.
Exactly.
So I wish farmers will listen to the good ears and put it in their action. Take care. And then I want the program manager to expand about the use of this herbicide and insecticide more, because of it is oversaturating our soil. And I don't know how farmers will stop using this and be knowledgeable about how to minimize using this herbicide, because of our food is getting into danger for our health. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Matthew Gabari, for a very useful contribution on the program. All right, he talked about the use of herbicide. Quickly, before we take our next caller.
Well, just as he said, the use of herbicide, I know, is one of the quickest ways to reduce farm labor. But it also has its bad sides. For anything that has advantage, it also has its disadvantage.
Exactly.
And it is for this reason that we are also saying it's not every chemical that you need to take to your field.
Exactly.
What type of field do you have? What type of weeds do you have? If there are minor and minimal weeds that herbicides with low concentration, not very high concentration, that can be able to get down these weeds, why not use them? But sometimes farmers don't seek for advice. I saw Mr. Jonathan in his face using this field, so let me also go and use it. You might be lucky to have a good result. You might not also be lucky to have a good result. So we are trying our best. We are trying our best to get fertilizer for soil specific, and then chemicals also for soil. All this research are on. And very soon a lot of them will start coming out for the benefit of our farmers.
All right, let's pick this call. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Jamilu Galadima. I'm calling from Kwandere.
Jamilu Galadima from Kwandere. Okay, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, what can you say?
Yeah, I appreciate the program manager and all your guests there.
All right.
But I want to talk about this issue of extension workers.
Extension, okay.
Yes, sir. It's like the government is not too serious about it. They are so like Jessica, because one of the basic things in Nigeria or in Africa is about this agriculture. And anything that can enhance or improve or assist the participants of agriculture should be greatly enhanced.
All right.
Government should give much priority to it. So, just like the program manager said that some people are coming, they are going to discuss on the issue, on the need of that is really no need for discussion. Government of Nasarawa should know that we need extension workers to assist these farmers within the localities.
Yes.
Just like when we are small, there are these extension workers, demonstration farms all along. We used to see them, and we are so impressed. Sometimes when they are doing this, we used to go there and see how they are doing it, and we try to copy.
Okay.
But nowadays, when there are no extension workers, nothing happens. So please, government should try as much as possible to employ these extension workers. Let them sink money there, employ more extension workers. Then give farmers like besides the fertilizers. Most of these they don't give them on time. You know, sometimes when the farm maize, when the maize is here, but before they'll come and give the fertilizer, or sometimes they even give it during dry season. So most of the facilities they want to give, please let them try as much as possible to give it on time so that farmers can utilize it when necessary. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jamilu. We appreciate you for that call. I think he's the last caller for today, and our time is really fast spent, and we'd like to wrap it up. But before then, I would like to ask the program manager, with the situation we find ourselves, quickly, what season, which of the season would you want the farmers to cultivate?
No, both season, of course, but whether we like it or not, because of this effect of the climate change, a lot of irrigation will have to come.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Ango?
Yeah, from my own end, I think climate change, like we already mentioned, is a scientific kind of thing. We need a lot of technology and innovations introduced if we must solve issues of climate change. There are a lot of countries now who are practicing precision agriculture. They know exactly how much moisture content the crop needs. Apply without. There are small have just small area of land and they are still feeding themselves well. So technology has to be introduced and research institutions have to be empowered to develop new technologies so that we can mitigate these things we're having in our country. Otherwise, we'll run out of food and more crimes will come if there is no food on the table.
God forbid. Okay, Mr. Jonathan, lastly.
Well, I would like to say that farmers should take precaution whatever advice they are getting, most especially the area of herbicide application. It has been studied and researched that most of the herbicide we are using is part of the contribution to the effect of climate change and is destroyed fastly. So we need to get the advice of technical people to be able to use such inputs in our various farms.
All right.
I think it will help us.
Thank you so much, dear listener. This is how far we go on this edition of the program. We sincerely appreciate our guest in the studio, Mr. Emmanuel Alanana, the program manager, NAD program today.
It's my pleasure.
And my regular guest, who is eventually becoming a co-presenter, Mr. Ango Adamu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Joshua Jonathan, the great farmer. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. On behalf of the management and the entire staff of MBS, my colleague in the studio, Marion Rabilu, Kunis Webe, have been very, very inspirational here. My name is Gospel Ede, saying, make sure you do the right thing. Know that climate change is real. Do what is needful so that we don't run short of food, because it is very important to our survival. And see you again next week for another interesting edition of the program. I'm out of here.